Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Dwayne Wade sets record straight about iconic LeBron James dunk with Heat. NBA superstar LeBron James has had multiple iconic moments throughout his long career, with many of them coming during his time with the Miami Heat. One of his more famous moments came back in 2010 when he was playing alongside star Dwayne Wade. James threw down a ferocious dunk against the Milwaukee Bucks, but it was the photo captured that made the moment iconic. Wade threw his hands up after his pass to James, and the photo captured the sequence perfectly. Many have believed that Wade threw James a lob pass, but in fact, it was a bounce pass that James caught in stride. The former star broke it all down and set the record straight while on Trophy Room with Candace Parker. It don't matter how many times I say this. People don't understand that was not a lob. I didn't throw a lob to LeBron on that play, and then I did this to the crowd, and the reason I did that was because we were back in Milwaukee where my jersey was hanging in the rafters as a Marquette player and they was booing us. It was a bounce pass. It would have been a crazy lob though. In arguably the second biggest NBA trade of this year's very active deadline week, six-time All-Star former Miami Heat small forward Jimmy Butler will play for the fifth franchise of his, likely, Hall of Fame career with the Golden State Warriors. The club announced the news on its official X account Thursday night. Initial negotiations stalled out earlier this week when Butler balked at the prospect of inking an extension. On Wednesday, however, everything came together at last. Butler was flipped to the Warriors as part of what wound up becoming a five-team blockbuster deal. The Heat brought in one-time All-Star ex-Golden State small forward Andrew Wiggins to replace Butler as its starter, plus veteran former Warriors forward Kyle Anderson, former Toronto Raptors point guard Davion Mitchell, and Golden State's top 10 protected first-round pick in the 2025 NBA Draft. Given Butler's pedigree, that pick is likely to convey. The Detroit Pistons, meanwhile, add well-traveled Warriors point guard Dennis Schroeder and young Golden State guard Lindy Waters III, plus the least favorable of Golden State's or the Minnesota Timberwolves' 2031 second-round draft picks, via the Warriors. Meanwhile, the Utah Jazz add a 2028 second-round draft pick from the Detroit Pistons and the more favorable of the Heat's or Indiana Pacers' 2031 second-rounder, plus ex-Pistons small forward KJ Martin, traded from the Philadelphia 76ers on Wednesday, and shooting guard Josh Richardson from the Heat. Toronto, meanwhile, adds power forward PJ Tucker, himself recently traded from the Clippers to the Jazz to the Heat, the Los Angeles Lakers' 2026 second-rounder, via the Heat, and cash considerations. Butler is reportedly declining his 2025-26 player option, worth $52.4 million, and agreeing to a two-year, $121 million contract extension to play for the Warriors through 2026-27. Draymond Green sends strong message about Jimmy Butler. The NBA All-Star break is underway, following a hectic trade deadline period. One of the biggest splash moves at the trade deadline was the Golden State Warriors acquiring Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat. Butler joined an organization with clear talent, rostering one of the greatest players of all time Stephen Curry, but still, the Warriors sit at number 10 in the Western Conference standings with a 28-27 record. During the All-Star break, Warriors star Draymond Green spoke on the addition of Butler, who has seemingly revived Golden State's championship hopes. Green shared high praise for Butler, mentioning that he's injected energy into the building, deeming him a leader and dog. "Shout out to Jimmy Butler," Green said, per Anthony Slater. "Completely changed the belief in this team. We started off the year great and everybody believed. And then continued to believe even though it was going rough. But, at a certain point it don't start going right, you start to lose that belief. It's like Jimmy was like life support for us. Just came and injected a bunch of energy, a bunch of belief into this group because of the leader that he is, because of the talent and player that he is, because of the guy and dog that he is." Before being traded from the Miami Heat, Butler was suspended indefinitely due to conduct detrimental to the team. After a drama-filled ending to his stint in Miami, Butler now has an opportunity to battle for a ring alongside Green and company. Butler is currently averaging 17.6 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 4.9 assists per game. Throughout his 14-year NBA career, Butler has been named a 5-time All-NBA member, 5-time All-Defensive Team member, and a 6-time All-Star. For NBA teams want to trade for Kevin Durant this summer. Veteran swingman Kevin Durant could be nearing the end of his tenure with the Phoenix Suns. This summer, if Durant is put on the trade block, several teams are expected to show interest, starting with the Lakers, Rockets, Spurs, and Heat. The San Antonio Spurs, Houston Rockets, Los Angeles Lakers, and Miami Heat will pursue a Kevin Durant trade this offseason, wrote Hoops Wire. Durant, 36, is one of the best scorers in the NBA, and he's also one of the most accomplished as a 2x champion, former MVP, and 15x All-Star. After being drafted by the Thunder in 2007, Durant rose to stardom as a 7-foot sharpshooter and took his talents to various teams, including the Warriors and Nets. Currently, Durant is on the Suns, and he was happy there. However, reports indicate that he has lost trust in the team over his recent involvement in trade rumors. Now, a Durant trade is more than viable in the offseason, and it could launch a massive bidding war. The Lakers arguably have the most to gain from adding Durant. At 36, Durant has a very narrow title window, and the Lakers are one of the few teams aligned with his timeline. They may not have enough assets to acquire Durant, but if the Lakers are willing to give up Austin Reeves, it could be enough to get a conversation started. At 4th in the West, the Houston Rockets may only be one piece away from title contention, and Durant fits the bill. His shooting and scoring ability would be a huge boost for the Rockets and help them become a more potent offensive team. They would have to give up a massive haul for Durant, but the Rockets might feel more incentivized to sacrifice their assets if they make a deep playoff run this year. The Spurs will be the youngest team in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes, but they have a lot to gain from his services. As Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox grow together, Durant could be their go-to scorer and mentor that helps them take that next step as a team. It's no secret that Durant has a great appreciation for Wemby, and the basketball duo could wreak havoc with a coordinated inside-outside attack. But after giving up much of their assets at the deadline, it remains to be seen if they'll have enough to make a compelling offer. Finally, the Miami Heat are the only Eastern team in the Durant chase, and they almost got him this season before negotiations with the Suns fell apart. As the only team Durant had eyes for this season, it makes sense that they are expected to pursue him this summer. With averages of 27.3 points, 6.0 rebounds, and 4.2 assists per game on 53.2% shooting this season, Kevin Durant is one of the best players in the league right now, and his longevity is impressive. Even at this stage of his career, Durant could thrive in the right situation, but it remains to be seen how the summer plays out. If Durant stays loyal, the Suns will keep building around him, but if not, then several teams will be ready to make their best trade offer. And you, fan? What do you think of Kevin Durant's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.